Gotta love that announcer. So anyway, so welcome back to the Marketing Mindset Mastery radio show. This is our Thanksgiving special. And oh my gosh, do we have an amazing show for you today. Um, and I am your host, Marie Mason, with my lovely and talented co-host, Plinny Phoenix, who is
Hello,
having
everyone,
who is experiencing some lightning and thunder and storms. So
and
we hope so.
happy holidays to you. I hope you're with your family, with your friends, celebrating, right? Especially now that we've been apart for so much time. Now, hopefully, like this, we can say thanks for being together again.
Exactly. I mean, oh my gosh, am I grateful to be able to be around family? And I normally would travel to 3 hours away to see my mom, but with the COVID cases on the rise again here in the U.S., you would think after the vaccine it would kind of minimize it, but for some reason it's not. So we decided to kind of err on the caution and do not a whole lot of travel this particular time. So we're staying in the area for Thanksgiving and celebrating with my husband's family and giving them some time with that. And then what we'll do is we're going to try and meet up for Christmas and spend a few days with her there. So
That's
that's
great.
why we're doing this. We're pretty much pre-recording this show for the Thanksgiving week, so Planny and I can have a little bit of a break for the holidays. So anyway, even though you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving the way we do here, I don't think you have that
No,
holiday,
not in Ireland nor in Italy. We don't have
right?
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, in the U.S., it's more about let's remember what we're grateful for, as well as the fact that it was about um, how the pilgrims survived the first winter and they celebrated with a 3-day feast. So that's pretty much the nutshell version of our holiday. But it was also about reminding us to be grateful for what we have. And oh my gosh, after the year of 2020 and what we've gone through in 2021 as well, I think we're all grateful we're alive, to be
Yeah,
honest. So,
yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah, we're on this side of the earth. I feel like we're
Thankful
doing
that we
something
still
right.
have a business, that we
Right.
still have friends, that we still have family. um yeah, I think like every day we have pretty much a lot of stuff to be
Yeah.
thankful for.
Agreed.
And that's actually, I we never thought about this as tips as well, but I think that if we could every day, like every morning, just to write 5 minutes, really like literally putting an alarm on our phone and write what we're thankful for, we're grateful for that given day, I think that it will make our days better. And don't
Right.
wait just for one day during the year to do that.
Right. And also reflect on things that we've accomplished. I think people are so good at pointing
Yeah,
fingers and saying, "Oh my gosh, you did this wrong, and you didn't do this right, and we should have done this differently." And that's great to have a perspective of let's fix things. But at the same time, I don't like the accusation part of it, but I like the fact that, the perspective of fixing things. But let's focus on what did we do right this last year. And Thanksgiving is a great time, and Christmas is a great time, and birthdays are a great time to reflect back on what we've done in our life and how far we've come along. Oh my gosh, things that
yeah,
we have done and what we've done. If you really reflect back, and yeah, you're going to have some things you regret that you haven't finished or haven't done or haven't accomplished, but focus more on the what you accomplished. Focus more on the positive, and that's going to give you a more
exactly.
positive perspective
Because
on
we
what
don't
you've
celebrate
done.
that much.
Yeah,
I just don't celebrate anything of my accomplishment. Like, yeah, well, I got it. I have the Gremlins on light. Perfect.
yeah, yeah.
Everything's fine now.
I would say the
But yeah, I
thunderstorms.
think it's celebrating what we accomplish.
Yeah,
So you might want to just check on your old pictures and things like that to remind you of yourself what you did even last year, because we forget, and you might discover that you have more to celebrate than you think.
exactly. No, that's a great tip. And I think I had somebody in Facebook not too long ago recently, and she was saying, "Oh, I'm just turning another year older," and the Eeyore kind of perspective and from Winnie the Pooh is like, why is me, and I'm like, then I gave them the perspective we just talked about, and we're like, also remember to look forward to the rewards of something that you want to accomplish. Because if you
Yeah.
look at something, remember how when we were younger, we were ready to looking forward and eager about turning 18 and being able to drive, whatever age that is in your country. But remember, like the age when you could drive and drink and all that kind of stuff and become like
Yeah.
completely like an adult, an independent adult. Oh my gosh, I think we just lost power.
My light went off.
So
Oops.
that's okay. We'll just have you into
Let's
the
see
room
if I
today.
can do something.
We'll see what we can
Um,
do if you have a ring light or phone light or something. But anyway, real quick, we won't keep you too terribly long, Piney. But there you go. You got a good
that's
backup.
too much.
That's perfect. That'll work. At least we can see you. So I heard that thunder,
Okay.
so I knew it was coming. So hopefully we'll keep you. We won't keep you too terribly long today. But long story short, oh my gosh, it's all about having a grateful heart and being remembered that you have added some sort of value to your life throughout the course of a year. You just have to remember what it is that you're grateful for. And I think that we tend to forget that. So, holidays, instead of looking at the negative sides of things, because I know there's probably somebody's picture as a negative side of it, picture the good things. Picture what you've accomplished, instead of waiting until everyone's dead to remember all the good stuff. Remember it now, because the memories are what we live on, and you want to remember things in the here and the now, and what the recent accomplishments are. So don't forget to remember the positive. So I don't know, that wasn't the original top tips we were going to talk about. Oh my gosh, Pliny, I think, has left the building. And so I'm going to fly solo, and we're going to talk about the confidence speaking top tips for next week. Um, next week topics for the 18th show. We are not doing this, so we're going to talk about that. When Pliny can, she will come back, but we're going to have to go ahead and dive into this topic. But before we bring up our guest, I will want to say make sure you check out Pliny's website at www.bettervoice.now.com. She is a voice coach and a confidence coach, and oh my gosh, she is fantastic. So please make sure you do go there. Enjoy your holidays, whatever you decide to do, and be safe. And whatever you all just, be safe and enjoy, and remember that stay present in the moment while you're having celebrating it with your family. But today's guest is Martin Schwartz. He's the co-founder and co-president of SMZS Design Consultants from New Jersey in the US, and he owns a full-service ad agency that works with the client's inner passion. We partnered with both traditional and advertising media and explored diverse and highly creative growth strategies in his business, and he is a fantastic speaker. He's been on our show before, and today's topic is overcome obstacles, because during the holidays, let's face it, you're going to deal with obstacles. We need to know how to take care of them. So, take it away, Martin. Let's bring you into the room, and come on down, Martin. Come on down, Martin, and just join us with your sound. Pliny had some technical issues with lightning and thunder, and her power went out. So we had a short, brief introduction. So it's going to be you and me on the rest of the show. She might be able to come in, but I don't know. She might have lost her internet connection. So she was having a thunderstorm, and we could hear the thunder and lightning on the show. So, long story short, she did manage to make a brief appearance earlier. So, what we were talking about was how to be a gratitude during the Thanksgiving, because this is our Thanksgiving episode. And since we're getting ready to hit Thanksgiving and the holiday season, I was actually talking about how we could be grateful. And yeah, we might have regrets of things we didn't do, but not to dwell on them and to focus more on what have we accomplished now that we're proud of, and what are things that we look forward to doing in the future. Because it's more about, people are so willing to point fingers on the things of what we do wrong, but what about the things we do right? So we all were giving people a fresh perspective on that just before we introduced you. So those were our top tips for this week. So anyway, we usually hit three top tips, and those were our three top tips today. So anyway, I wanted to like preface that before we jumped into your topic, which is, and I was saying we're going to be facing the holidays, and there are going to be obstacles that are coming in your path, both personally and also professionally, because we're dealing with holidays. So there's going to be hiccups along the way. So we need to know how to overcome those obstacles. So, Martin, tell me one of the, what is it? Everybody has a success, you know, they have success blueprint basically, which is those 5 daily habits. And I was wondering, um, what are your 5 daily habits to your success? Because I know you own a successful ad business and so forth, and we already introduced you to the audience for that. So could you share us your 5 daily tips to get us started on before we jump into overcoming obstacles?
Thank you very much. Thanks,
Y-
Marie.
My
And
pleasure.
it's always a pleasure to speak with you and to talk with you. And certainly, obstacles are part of any success program that you have. But if you consider these obstacles, I thank God every day for the blessings that I have.
Right.
Sometimes your blessings get lost in the obstacle. It kind of blocks your vision to the blessings that you have. So I wake up every morning thanking God for the gift of life and the blessings and stop and take a look at some of the blessings that you have, the family, faith, your gifts of talents that you have, the ability to overcome so far many obstacles. So that's number one. Number two is you need to strengthen your spirit. You give this blessing, and what are you going to do? What do you do with it? What does it do when you give thanks? You ultimately strengthen who you are. You always want to strengthen who you are. You don't want to kind of stay at the same energy level. You want to always be recharging yourself. Do something in your life that charges you up, that strengthens you, that gives you the excitement that you wake up with a purpose. You wake up with a divine purpose. Who can you help today? What can you say to make somebody a smile? That's free. Most of the
Yep.
things that really are beautiful in life are free. A smile, a kind word, opening a door for somebody who can't. So that would be number two. And sharpen your intellect. You need to be able to sharpen your
The
skills
mind.
and learn. You grow when you learn different and new and exciting things. Uh, Learn things that necessarily you wouldn't necessarily do or go to naturally. Sometimes your business forces you to go learn about web design. You have as much excitement to learn about web design as, taking castor oil or something, or, you know, but even you take a look at the athletes that train, they go out and run the track and run their regiment when they don't feel like doing it. So it's important that you begin to do things that you need to do when you necessarily aren't excited to do it. And that includes sometimes sharpening your wit when you're tired. I spend 1 hour every night working on my soul, working on my emotions, my soul, my personal growth. As much as you exercise and run, let's say 3 or 4 miles, you strengthen your soul in much the same way. You don't want to be stagnant. You want to be in that growth mood. So, sharpening your intellect. And if you think positive, it will be positive. When you get all these beautiful things together, think that you're going to accomplish it. Think that it's going to do, there is purpose in all the work that you're putting in. You may not see it, but it's important that you know that it will come. as long as you keep at it. So think positive, it will be positive. And the final one is do good to other people. Uh, we're commanded to do good to each other. And when you're able to do good to each other, you go outside of yourself. You say, listen, it's not just me. If I'm growing and growing and growing. So what we like to say is you hear it, you internalize it, but you give it out to you. So if I find something, if Marie, if I find something in marketing, or if I find something exciting and I internalize it and I research it a little bit, I have an obligation to tell you. I have an obligation to let you know the blessings that I found, the intellect I found, the enjoyment I found. Did you know about this, Marie? This is exciting. And you know something? When you begin to give that way, it gets back right back to you. People give naturally to you because it's human nature that you keep giving and you keep giving, people are going to get. So those are five very down to earth. They're not that hard to do if you have the right you know you take control of your values and thoughts and things that are really important in your life, and you give that to others.
That's brilliant. And it's funny because I always tell my son this: you're in control of your values, your beliefs, your thoughts, your attitudes, your actions, and most importantly, your reactions. When we react to things, we usually want to blame the other person and sit there and say, you caused this. Okay, but why are you reacting to it? What is the trigger inside that is causing that reaction in the first place? Because they may have said something, but you're the one that chose to react. So you have to control how you show up when you react to people. And I love it when you were saying about thinking positively, because when you think positive actions, it also attracts positive around you and it creates that positive environment. And when you have a positive environment, you get to grow personally. So, those are things that I've learned over my lifetime that I'm always sharing with not only my son, but my clients and my students, and business students, and family and friends. And I probably said it over the years, and I know especially in my more later years, but it's just things that those are all things, Martin, I'm sure you found out. You
Yep.
learned about all this through your life experience. And it's not sometimes we realize it at the time when we're in our younger years, but as we get older, we realize that we do control all our what we think. We do control our beliefs. In fact, in everything. And if you think about it, even and I'm not a religious program, though I've had people say I am, but it's more of I do show my Christian values. I mean, you have more of a Jewish background, and I'm more of a Christian, but the common biblical truths apply to all languages, all religious beliefs. I think really more than languages. So all religious beliefs, there is a biblical truth in some form or another. Whatever it is that you choose to believe in, there is some sort of biblical truth, and that is this: whatever a man thinketh, so it be. Right? I think that's the word, or maybe you could probably quote the Bible better than I can. But um, and it's all about what you think is what you sow. What you sow is what you reap. Right? Is that the way the format goes? I mean, in that thought
Yeah.
process.
When
Yeah.
I first approach clients in my business, I try to do two things. I let them know that I have a very personal approach to their business. They're not just a number, they're not just a client. I call my people partners. And uh, when I do that, it puts a different spin on it. When you actually tell someone you're not my client, you're my partner, it takes away the rough edges of business. It makes it more personable and palatable. Again, that's my approach to my advertising agency. And number two is that I try to actually uh, delve into their dreams and goals and passion. And I tell them, I want to earn your trust. I don't expect you to trust me right off the bat. And when I take the pressure off of them in business, they're wondering, who is this guy? How is he doing? What, if I'm going to pay this guy, how do I know? I say, let's take the time to have you trust me and me to earn your trust. It's one thing to say that I want to make you trust me. It's another thing to say, I want to earn your trust. So it takes the initiative on my part. It takes the everything I put on me. All the client has to do is look and see what I'm presenting and see if that is if everything lines up. It has to be in alignment. If you drive a car and the car is out of alignment, it steers one way. It doesn't go straight.
Sometimes
And
it makes a little shaking noise
yes,
and
it
stuff.
makes a
Yeah,
shaky
and
sound.
you could tell. Yeah, and it's very visible.
It's
So,
the same thing, Marie, you probably know in your own business, it's the same thing. If you're out of alignment with a client, it's shaky or it's going a certain way.
it
And I
doesn't feel
find
right. You can
it just
tell.
doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel right. And a lot of business is your gut feeling, not just your resume, but how the unspoken words the unspoken things that you say, your persona, your tone of voice, your body language. Are you confident? And the things that I was talking about those five pillars, will allow you to tell somebody, I'm going to earn your trust. Only a confident person will put themselves out there to, again, in your case too, Marie, to run a business, to put yourself out in the public sector, to do things a lot of other people don't want to do or don't have the confidence to do. So I applaud you for, building your business
thank
and
you.
using some of these principles because it shows the other person who may not have as much confidence as you do, come along, come on, I can help you. Even if you're a little shaky in that area of your business, you want to start a new venture, you're a little shaky. I'm a good resource and I want to earn that trust because before you invest in me, you have enough things on your plate that you don't have to worry if Martin Schwartz can do the job or if Marie is trustworthy or loyalty or has the character. And I speak to a lot of clients and they tell me that character and values are very important to them,
Right.
very important. Sometimes it's more important than talent.
Exactly. Because you can learn talent. You can learn skills to put, and you can create talent from those skills. But if you don't have something that speaks to them as far as building trust with them, and if you don't feel like you could connect with them as a human being, and a real authentic human being, and if they can't relate to you and you can't understand what their needs are, it's not going to work. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's one of those situations where you have to be able to connect with that person, a human being. You have to understand their needs. You have to be able to connect with them on a personal level, and that's why I always do, um, build that relationships, build that know, like, and trust factor with anybody I work with, even speakers. If I don't feel like there's a good connection with somebody, they don't come on my show, period, because it's going to show up on the screen with my audience. They're going to know whether it's a good fit or not, and it's going to, and if it's not a good fit, it's going to also reflect on the number of views we get. So anyway, just saying, because people will comment. So you got to make sure there's enough synergy between you and the person you're working with. I think that's what we're trying to say. It's pretty close to it.
That opens up many opportunities because your alignment. When I first met you, we hadn't known each other, but we got to know each other, and your values and your wonderful qualities and your amazing talent and your quality person and it's just such an honor to be able to know you, and that is that goes very far, and you know that you have a friend in me, not just a business associate, but a friend in me for life, because I think the world of you, and you know, it's very important. And if when that alignment comes, even people that are in the same profession or same world, it's not a competitive vicious thing. I wish for you the most success and every
Thank you.
God's blessing for you.
And
So
same here. I feel the exactly the same, that we have a good friendship as well. Because, like you said, it's not about competition. It's about collaboration. And I have said that over and over again for, I don't know, for decades, to be honest. Before I even became a virtual assistant agency, before I became a business coach, I have said to people over and over again, it's not col- competition the way you think it should be. It should be collaboration. It should be, we need to work together towards a common goal. That's really what collaboration is. We work together towards a common goal. And I think that's what people totally misunderstand and take it and don't take to heart. But you have so many great questions, but we need to go over some of the
okay,
material. And I know that we're going to jump into some things, but we'll go into some other topics first. But let's jump into what I want to know is, what are some of the weakest aspects of your business? Because we do have to address them and recognize them so we can make improvements. So I was wondering about your perspective on that particular topic.
well, the weakest part of my business is patience and perseverance.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want things to grow faster than God has planned.
Hmm.
Sometimes I want things to grow faster than the client wants things to grow. And the patience to sit it out and do. Uh, we are so excited that we put the cart before the horse, and we want the movie to go into production before we raise the funds. We are already talking about the holding the Oscar instead of fundraising for the movie, getting the script going on, and doing all those things. So,
Because we
the,
picture the end results before we realize we
yeah,
have to take the action steps to do, make sure we have the action steps lined up to achieve those goals. And oh my gosh, you think you hit the nail on the head on that one. So anyway.
well, Marie, I think when you plant a seed,
Mhm.
now you plant the seed and you water it, and it's in the ground and nothing's coming up for 3 weeks.
Or
You
longer.
go, is this seed defective, or what's going on? And all of a sudden you see the little greenery sprout and the little tree coming from that, or whatever the vegetable coming from that, and you say, oh my God, all it needed was a little bit of watering and a little bit of time.
Yep.
And that's kind of the discipline we as business people need to have. Because if you're in a corporate world, they give you a timetable.
Right.
You're in the corporate, you have a punch clock, or you have your manager telling you we need this done by the 25th, the 24th, the 25th. But the thing is, when we're formulating our business plans, who we are, our strategy, where do I go next? What do I do? You need the patience and the perseverance. The patience to be able to get counsel from people that are your peer group or your mastermind group or things like that. So the intellect over emotion is very, very important in being able to make rational patience and perseverance decisions.
Brilliant. No, that's true. And what it is we get, and you hit the nail on the head, because we get a little frustrated when we don't see the results right away. And if you just wait just a little bit longer, and I keep telling people, I here's an example. I had a have a student that was my client back couple before he became a student, and he was always quitting a week before. He was frustrated because 3 weeks into the month he wasn't seeing the results, because he was an independent business owner, and he was working for a company that were more results oriented. And he wasn't hitting his goal. And he would quit a week before and get so discouraged, I didn't meet my goal. So I give him the business owner mindset is this: if you don't reach your goal 3 weeks into it, you have to wait. You can't count your results 3 weeks into it. You have to wait until the very moment of the time in which the clock ticks on the last day of the month. You don't check your results until the end of the month when you're in that kind of when you're in an independent contractor kind of business, especially when you're dealing with something like selling a product or a service for another company and you're a representative for that company. So, and even in your own business, don't check your results. If you're a virtual assistant or a freelancer, same thing. Don't check your results in the middle of the month because you're just going to frustrate yourself. Wait until the end of the month and then check your results because it's in that 11th hour, the very last hour, the last minute, something miraculous usually happens and you get whatever it is you've been trying to work to achieve in accomplishing your goal in that last hour. So I keep telling people, don't worry about the results until the end of the month because what it does is it discourages us when we don't see the needle moving forward. So I always tell them you have to just kind of tunnel focus, make sure you just keep doing what you're doing. Don't put the when you're driving a car and put that gas pedal on, make sure you put the gas pedal on and move forward quickly and just steadily and just don't worry about anything else. Don't let distractions uh, affect you and just focus on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And if you're consistently not reaching your goal, that means your goal is too low. You have to set the bar higher so that you can, because when you set the bar higher, that's when you reach your goal. And when we made those two tweaks for my particular client, and it was now a student, he reached his goal and surpassed it because he stopped checking the results in the middle of the month, which was discouraging him. He kept on going forward even towards the very last day and the 11th hour. And then at the same time, he also set the bar higher from what he was doing. And that made all the difference in the world. And he was able to achieve his goals and be on the leadership board in this company for several months in a row because he listened to those mindset shifts. He made those mindset shifts and listened to our advice. But that's what I'm going to encourage people. You cannot, I can't emphasize enough. It's all about how you make that mental shift and about how you view your results. So I don't know. Do you have a thought on that?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the things, Marie, that I tell my clients and I tell young people in business and seasoned business people, you want something very quick. Look, we all do.
Yeah, instant
What's more,
gratification, right?
what's more important is you work at it a little bit every day.
Right.
That makes it come quick. When you work at it's more important to work at it every single day with discipline and consistency and that
Yep.
perseverance. The first part, patience, of course, that's divine. But the persistent action, the physical, the patience is the spiritual. Lord, give me the patience. Lord, give me the patience.
Agreed.
But the persistency is the actual physical, where you work every day. You make those calls despite the fact you've got 150 no's in front of you and you're wondering what's going on and you're taking an Excedrin pill the size of a, gigantic 20 feet size. You're going to break a piece off of it and you just take it.
Right.
But so the patience is, and I'm going to be in other areas today, I'm going to be talking about the physical response to things and the spiritual response. And they both have to work together.
Right.
If you have an imbalance in one of them, it's very difficult. If you run 6 miles a day and you watch football, there's nothing wrong with football, but if you watch it all the time and you don't strengthen your learning and your spirit, then you're physically fit and you're a football fan. But if you run 6 miles and you decide that you want to take a cooking class or have a new language, So you're physically fit, and you're verbally fluent in Italian or Spanish. So or some culture that you want to do. So you can do something with your actual learning. So what you're doing in one half affects the other half, and it makes you a total person. And whatever the total person is, you're going to get what each side, what you put into each side of it, the physical and the spiritual. And it's for everybody. That's just not Martin Schwartz or Marie, or that's for everybody. What you put in on both sides of your physical world and your spiritual world will make the whole person.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I always address both with my clients and with my students is I don't just address the one thing they hired me for. I address the person as a whole because even the things that we talk about on the show is we're addressing the whole person because it's all about uh, you have to address from the inside out because whatever is going on the inside will reflect on the outside in everything you do, not just in the physical and the spiritual, but in the business world, in your personal life. So if you're going through some internal conflict, you need to address it head on and just learn to overcome that obstacle so that you can focus on what you need to do. You're going to show up so much better when you get rid of that obstacle. So anyway, I know we have some more questions for you. So I mean, we could talk about these for hours. So anyway, and I wanted to ask you, how do you know how to overcome these challenges? Because there might be times where it's hard to just tell when there's an obstacle we need to overcome when it's right in front of our face. Because there's the four window panes. I can't remember who. There's a book that was written. And it talked about it, but the four window panes and how we see things that other people don't see. And then there's a couple of other different scenarios. And then the last one is the stuff that other people see about us that we don't see. So, is there a perspective you have with that question that I just asked?
Yeah.
And let me just make sure I repeat it. So it's knowing when to or how to overcome it, the challenges, and also when do we recognize that we even have a challenge? It's kind of a two-part question. So,
Well, I think anything that you do, you have the actual paradigm of wish, want, need, got. Now, your challenge will fit into one of those categories. I wish to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I need to lose weight. I gotta lose weight. So every single thing that you have, some challenges are really not that important in the sense of in the whole scope of other things. Well, with your health, let's say, am I going to be able to watch the football game next Sunday? I have to clear my schedule, as opposed to obviously I have to go to the doctor and get a physical or get my flu shot or something like that. So
thanks
I
for the
think
reminder. I need to get my son and I the
I
flu shot
remind
this
you.
week.
I think obstacles also are is the way you frame the obstacle. Some people say it's not an obstacle, it's a challenge. Some
Right.
people say it's not an obstacle, it's a growth opportunity. Some people say this obstacle is the best thing that ever happened to me, even though it hurt me very much.
So it's like a perspective. It's how you view what an obstacle is. Right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It's
Good.
the same thing with pressure. People say, I'm under pressure. Well, I embrace the pressure. I embrace the obstacle. See, it's very important how you approach that obstacle. Look, we recognize that, as you were saying before, the action part, we recognize that the obstacle is there. How do you approach that? How does your spirit approach that? How does your physical reaction approach that? If you're being bullied in school, you have a difficult obstacle. You approach that from a a physical point of view where you need to get help with, you talk to your parents, and then and then your parents talk to teachers, administrators, law enforcement,
There
which
is a process in place for that. So yeah.
yeah, there's a process to be able to overcome these obstacles. Recognize it's an obstacle. That's one of the things that people. I knew somebody that needed a hearing aid. I wear a hearing aid, but I knew somebody that needed a hearing aid, and uh, they walk around all day not being able to hear anything. And people tell them multiple times, you need a hearing aid. And the person says, no, I don't. After they say, what did you say, 5 or 6 times? You know,
They don't recognize that problem. Yeah.
they're not facing it. They're not
Right.
facing the obstacle that they have where they need a hearing aid. Everyone knows they need a hearing aid, but they don't actually want to face it themselves. And that's the hardest thing with one of the hardest things with obstacles is you need to be able to face the obstacle yourself and to be able to actually be truthful. Uh, you
I
know,
was laughing because it's there's some, I won't bring up my personal struggles with some family members because I don't want to um, bring that to light on a public channel because I like to respect their privacy. But I can see what you were saying and see how it applies to some situations we've experienced on a personal level. So that's why I was chuckling. So anyway, yeah, because I'm like, yeah, people are so oblivious to admitting when they need to get that extra help, and
yeah,
they don't want, they're not ready to admit that they need the help, and that's the internal struggle. So I think you were alluding to and wanting to discuss. So
yeah. They many times they hit rock bottom, and that is the only time they admit they have an obstacle. And when you see an obstacle coming and you don't know what to do, suppose an obstacle is coming and you say, what do I do? Well, you prepare to fight,
yeah,
you prepare to love, and you pray. You ask for help. So when you're not sure if the person or situation is foe, friend, or spirit, so you prepare, one of the strategies I would suggest, and it's biblical
right,
also, is you prepare to fight, you prepare with, as they say, with one hand you build, and the
right,
other hand you fend off challenges.
right,
So that's a very effective way to um, deal with the unknown. So many obstacles are unknown. Do I have, God forbid, do I have cancer? Or God forbid, is this client truthful? I tell the paradigm where if I ask you to make a pastrami sandwich for me, and you make two pastrami sandwiches, one has mustard on the bread and the other has poison on the bread.
mm,
Now, if you take a bite of the pastrami sandwich with the mustard, you're in heaven, a good pastrami sandwich. If you take a bite of the other one, you're
you're
going to be
six,
sick
you're gonna be
and you
sick or
can
6 foot under,
possibility
one of the
die.
two. Yeah.
And if you look at that with obstacles, so how do you find out how do you find out about the pastrami with mustard and the pastrami with poison? It's time. You have to use your intellect, your judgment, and also time. We were talking about patience, Marie, but people don't give time to solve obstacles, the time
Right,
it's needed to solve these obstacles. Sometimes all the obstacle needs is time.
right,
You have a cold. Well, that's an obstacle for you to go to work, but you have to rest and
right,
heal. So so in business you have to recognize these type of responses and these type of things. And I want today to bring it back a little more with business. How do you vet a client? How do you vet a vendor,
Right.
well, part of it is they have to earn your trust if they're selling you something. And number two, time will tell if they're going to be honest, and because you can't keep up a lie for 20 years. It's very hard to lie over a long period of time. Your true self comes to the front. Your character, your values, your faith, the things that are very important in building that trust factor. And if you just have a business where it's a widget, say, do you want to buy my pillow? No, not my pillow, but you want to buy my pillow, my sheets, or my pens.
Generically speaking.
Then
So yeah.
you have a widget. Well, then it's either hit or miss. But in a personal service business, it's called personal service for a reason. We're in a service and we serve others, and we serve others in a personal, character, holy, divine, with integrity way. The client has to know that when I tell you I'm putting something on your bread, it's mustard. It
And
is
not
poison.
something else. Yeah. Good point. Now, I think that's spot on. I loved how you just said all of that and summed it up beautifully because um, I tell my students quite a lot of that as well. As and one of the things we actually touched about this past week in our is how do you appreciate your clients? How do you tell them thank you for being a great client and the customer? How do you go the extra mile and serve your clients? So, because it's not just about doing that one task and doing it well, it's about how do you go the extra mile and become a proactive virtual assistant or a proactive freelancer or business owner, because you want to be able to show that, because we're in that season where we're giving away gifts and discounts because it's the holidays, right? We're getting ready to we're on that giving spirit. How do you do that throughout the year? And one of the things we talked about was sending them a personalized thank you card, sending them whether physically or electronically, sending them a personalized gift, sending them extra time to set aside so that they need an extra consultation call. That's an extra gift. So, how do you do an extra task that they didn't expect? I mean, going that extra mile means going above and beyond what they expect so that you give them your best. And that's how you earn someone's trust, because we were talking about earning trust. And I'm showing people that's how you earn trust. So I don't know, is that something that you usually practice as well, as about
Yeah,
how you earn trust? How do you
yes.
and maybe you can explain how you earn trust to your about your clients.
One of the things that's interesting about earning trust is the client is not always ready for you.
Right.
And the biggest way you earn trust in the client when, in these regards, is how you react when the client can't use you. See, when the client can use your services and what everything is hunky dory, I'm giving you business, you're very happy with me and all that. But what happens when the client can't use you, or the client disappoints you, or
Right.
the client was irresponsible with you? How you react to what the client does says more to the client about your true character and your true trust. I have people that I speak to, and they're not ready for my services, but they remember the quality, integrity, and trust. It's built like layers. It's built like layers of a cake. You put the first tier. The first tier is the introduction. Look, you're not going to get it all in the first introduction.
Right.
You have to establish that there's a dialogue and there could be a need, but more importantly, you get along. Number two, once you find out you get along, then you keep calling and keep every once in a while. You open up a continuous dialogue. So, Marie, You and I, we know each other for a long, long time. And you and I have a continuous dialogue.
Yep, we keep
Now,
in touch.
we trust each other, but we trust each other not just for the values we have, but the physical value of calling each other, seeing each other, you giving me the honor to come back and speak. So those things tell me more about you and your character and how our relationship is internally. So you're not dealing with a company can be your client, but you're dealing with individuals within that company. And you being sensitive to the responsibilities that the person has in a corporate setting or an entrepreneurial setting to be able to build that trust and occasion, it's not the frequency that you call somebody, it's the quality of the call when you call. I'll give you an example. I may not speak to you, let's say, for a month or two, but
Right.
I know that when I get back on the phone with you, when I get on LinkedIn with you, when I get on we have a warm feeling. There's
Right.
the feeling. So it's embedded in. So you built that trust, but then you build something deeper. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a relationship in love, or whether it's a relationship in business, you want to go beyond the initial feeling and you want that feeling to be deeper. Because when the feeling is deeper in business, they're not buying your talent, they're buying you. People think, well, I can sell $50,000, I can sell this. Look, if you're hell to work with, let me tell you something. You could sell $1 billion. I don't want you. Nobody wants somebody that's hard. That's hell to work with. So when you're able to get that personal portion of your business on track. Now, if you're a quiet person, if you have different personalities, not everybody is type A. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
But
I'm extroverted, but at the same time, not everyone, we have introverts, extroverts, and there's different levels in between. And we all have to own that personality. And it doesn't, and you don't have to try to be me or try to be somebody else. Just be yourself. And I think that's what you're trying to say a little bit
yeah,
in that department. Yeah.
yeah, and the funny thing is, Marie, is that when two type A people meet, I've learned that to keep quiet and listen to the type A. See, two type A's that are very aggressive and opinionated, they tend to talk at each other instead of
Right.
listen. So it comes with very fine points of interpersonal relationships, and you're actually listening to somebody that's as strong as you, as successful as you, and to be able. And the other thing that's very important when Marie, when we get all these things in, an obstacle also, it's very important, is that you feel inferior to the client. That your client, if your client was a giant movie star, you say, well, I have this giant movie star. Am I up to dealing with this movie star or a great athlete or a great success in business? The obstacle in that regard is your own self confidence and self worth in
Yeah.
dealing. You're never going to grow unless you can look in the eye successful people and you're at their level, because they wouldn't be talking to you unless you were the cream of the crop.
Right.
Successful people are not going to waste time on people that aren't successful and have a very good attitude and all the things. So the obstacle we haven't talked about is your own self-image in being able to grow with people that are big in their field or quote unquote successful in their field. You need to be able to look them straight in the eye and never back down on your talent, on your abilities, and your self-confidence. You only grow by expanding to things that are bigger than yourself,
Right.
including people,
Yep.
including clients. You embrace the people that are successful, knowledgeable, and in some areas more knowledgeable in certain subjects than you, but you bring to the table not what they bring. If they could find that, they wouldn't need you.
Right.
My brother has a doctorate in molecular genetics. He needed graphics designed to do that. I did that for him. He has a genius. He has a genius IQ,
Brain. Yeah.
but he needed the creative to get that scientific data on the paper that he became, so he can get his doctoral thesis through, and he got it. And I helped him through my talent.
Right.
My talent was as valuable as his talent because he couldn't have been able to do it without my talent.
Exactly. And it's all about, you hit the nail on the head. It's all about how, and I work with a web developer, and I've been part of his summit team for his summit, which launched yesterday, by the way. And it's, well, I should say, because we're recording this before Thanksgiving. So it was, 15th through the 19th of November is our summit. And and my web developer is a genius, whether he realizes it or not. He probably won't admit that, but he is. But he understands people and the relationships, especially how women think, but which is a talent in itself. But the story is that he can actually take all of our talents and utilize our strengths, and we all stay within our talents and our gifts and our abilities. And that's what makes a dream team. Whenever you're working with a client and they hire you for your strengths, it's because that's what they're lacking. They're lacking that talent. So that's why they hire you. That's why your brother, in a sense, hired you to do the graphics. That was not in his scope of talents, but that was your strengths. So when you're operating in your strengths, then things become so much easier. You are much more productive, and you attract the people that want your specific talent. Because, like you said, they won't reach out to you if it's something that they had a talent and gift already, right? They are reaching out to you because they lack something. And sometimes they don't say what they really need. It's something you almost have to fish for it and find out what that is a little bit and dig deeper. I don't know if you've had that experience where you
Yeah,
have to find.
you
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do, you do, and you also you have to be willing to be somewhat honest with yourself in front of the client. If you can't do something, tell the client you can't do it. I'll get the resources or the talent to do it in my business, but I have to learn about that. I have to, the client will respect you. In the client will respect the honesty that you have in evaluating your limits in your business and the things that you're able to do and what you're not able to do. And the client is looking for honesty. He doesn't want to give you a $2 million project and you stand there, glassy eyed and just, wasting. It's I and you need to be able to also. I was on the phone with a client, and my son came in. He was 3 years old at the time, I believe, and he just had gotten out of the bathtub, and he's going woo 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 woo
all
woo woo with a
excited.
towel. And the client says, "What's going on there?" I said, my 3-year-old son just got out of the bathtub, and he has a towel going woo woo woo," and we both laughed. What saved me is not lying to him.
Right.
What saved me is telling him the truth and being able to come. And that shows, and you said about building trust. Building trust is also how truthful you are about yourself.
Right.
That builds trust. Nobody wants a phony baloney. Nobody wants
We
a
can
diced.
spot them. We can spot them a mile away, can't we?
Oh
That's
yeah,
funny to me.
oh yeah, and they can too. They
Yep.
can too. And they'll even, but they'll even give you a chance, because they'll even give you a chance if you do that. I think what most young people don't realize, and maybe many some older people, is clients will give you a chance if you have all those other things.
Right.
And say, something, there's a spark here. There's potential here. I can work with him. He can learn, he can learn Number one, because he's been truthful with me and he opens up to me. Number two, he's able to tell a joke or two and laugh at himself and laugh. And number three, I get a good feeling. My gut, my gut. So much of overcoming obstacles is your gut feeling.
Yes.
I don't know. God works through through your gut feeling or that intuition that we have, or the divine grace of what we're doing. Another thing you were talking about is how do you know about an obstacle?
Right.
Well, when you're faced an obstacle and you really are in alignment, as we say, you will get stronger fighting that obstacle. You will get stronger. You know that project has to be done in the morning, and you gain strength through the night, working through the night. You gain strength through those no's. You gain strength through the patience and perseverance. God gives you the grace to get stronger. You know something is really a obstacle when you face it and it's draining you. It's pulling you down. It's destroying you. In some cases, destroying you. Obviously, smoking or
Yeah.
drinking excessively or gambling are physical obstacles that you go through that is destructive. You know it's an obstacle, it's destructive. But the spiritual destructiveness is when you get you get hit with a bad client, and then every client going forward has to pay for that bad client. Well, this client snookered me out of money. This client hurt me. You're going to have to pay for it. No, he doesn't have to pay for it. You're not entitled to anything. You're not
Right.
entitled to do that. Every client you meet is a clean slate.
Right.
Give the client a chance. You're making the bad experiences that you have. You learn from it. Some warning signs, don't misunderstand that. But
Right.
the physical and spiritual going forward, everything's a clean slate. And the client should not have to pay because somebody in the past hurt you in your business.
No, it's true. And that's a good point. Um, Spot on. And then one of the things I would recommend, if I can remember what it was, um, you touch on so many good points. It's hard to narrow down the one I wanted to say, but no, that was just really spot on. And then also, don't forget talking to several students, and hopefully my sound gremlins are behaving. Um, anyway, hopefully they will work themselves out. I hope you can hear me okay. But
Yes.
one of the things I tell them is when you talk about tasks that drain you, and you mentioned that one of the things I talked to my students recently about was list list the tasks that drain your energy, and then list the tasks that energize you and excite you and create that passion in you, because they're going to be two different lists. Okay, and the ones that drain you, they should hopefully they're on your low priority list, and maybe if they are something you have to do, outsource that. Either outsource it to a software or outsource it to a human being that can manage it, because you're you got to protect your energy and your time, and oh my gosh, don't waste it on things that drain you, because it's not going to be make let you be productive. When you want to be productive and energizing and happy, focus on the things you love doing. And what is it that excites you in the moment now? Of course, that may change in the 3 months to 6 months. So just keep that in mind and be okay to pivot with it. But at the same time, focus on the things that are here and now that excite you. And then either let go of the other things that you don't need to, that are not a high priority, or outsource it either to a software or to a human being that can handle it, that actually is their gifts and talents, because it's all about playing in your strengths and in your because that's part of your purpose, right? Your strengths and your passions and what it is that you've been given to, your talents, those are given to you for a reason. and it's part of your purpose. Is that pretty much sums up what a purpose is? I don't know. Could
Yep.
you tell us what a purpose is real quick? Because I think that would be important to learn. And we may have to wrap it up. Oh my gosh, I think we're over an hour. So anyway, so anyway, but I mean, it's so good to listen to you. It's hard to stop. So
I think what I like to tell people is success is the progressive realization of a worthy dream.
right,
You were put on this earth for a purpose. And the idea is to get rid of all the junk on your soul, the junk on your heart, all the people that hurt you, and dust off and let that purpose shine. If you ever see a piece of silver that's tarnished, you take that rag and it's all shiny, and people see it different. They see a different Marie when Marie gets the old tarnish off her. She has a worthwhile dream. She every day she's going towards that. You can walk the streets, Marie, and you can see people who walk with a purpose, and you can see people that don't.
yep,
You can see people that let others determine who they are, what they are, how much they make, or others that yearn to be free in a free society, to be able to articulate the value that they have and being visible. And they're not afraid to come on. Listen, you and I have overcome nervousness being on interviews, or nervousness of being in front of clients, or making a presentation to 300 people, as I've done. Look, if I tell you that you're not nervous, but that's normal nervous.
right,
It's natural nervous. If that nervousness is stopping you from talking to you, we have a bigger destiny to help other people. I know the people that are going to listen to this, some of them are going to be helped by the things you and I are speaking about. And
right.
that is bigger than our nervousness. That is bigger than the obstacle. You are able to overcome obstacles through thinking bigger than the obstacle. And you have all the equipment at your disposal in both your spirit, your neshama, your strength, your connection, and keep growing. And the physical, you have conduits, you have constituents, you get the knowledge, and then you get people to fight with you. You're not in this alone. When you have an obstacle, one of the biggest problems people think they have is they're alone.
Right.
I have to fight this alone. No. Powerless people need powerful friends.
True.
That is one of my favorite expressions.
It's a good
And
quote.
yeah,
So,
and it's listen, it's just a phone call away. If
right,
you just jump beyond your own pride and call someone up and say, I'm hurting, or I need this. One of the things I will tell you is, when you have any situation, there's three things you need. Number one, you need professional advice. If you have an obstacle, you need professional advice. There's nothing that can substitute for an attorney or someone that does graphic design if you need something designed. Number two, you need spiritual advice. You're going to be hurt. This obstacle is hurting you, and it's going to hurt you in some way, manner, shape, or form. You need to be able to talk to somebody that can help your spirit. And number three, you need a close circle of friends. Just somebody you can hold a hand, cry, yell, get angry with, vent, have them listen to you. So you have your professional team, your clergy team that loves your spirit and strengthens it, and you have your friends that can, they're your inner
friends
circle.
and family too, because you got to have the family support
Yeah,
too. So
exactly.
they're all part of your VIP list. So,
Yeah, that's VIP. Listen, VIP. And there's people out there. There's people out there, and I help many, many people. And the thing is, you help people, and maybe you never see them again. You were meant to be a blessing in their life. You were meant at that point to give them some beautiful advice. The people that listen to this at the, when it comes on, it's going to touch somebody somewhere, Marie. The things you say are going to touch somebody somewhere, somehow. And that is the biggest, that's bigger than any obstacles we could ever have in trying to get this thing put on the show on the road. Because the good that you're doing, and hopefully some of the advice that I'm giving will be able to enrich someone's lives and pull them out of whatever obstacle. Have them think that an obstacle, embrace the obstacle, because you have every single trait to overcome it in your physical world and your spiritual world and your neshama.
Well, it's been a blessing to have you on the show already. And oh my gosh, I can't believe we're at the end of the show already. I know we went over today, but I couldn't stop him if I tried. Martin's just got so much stuff. We didn't even get to everything on here. So we'll have to have you back on the show again in 2021. Sorry, 2022, next year. I can't
Yep.
believe we're already almost finished with 2021. So anyway, quick things I want to ask you is what action steps can you help us share with the audience and how to help them grow? Because I think you had two little types of people you wanted to discuss, and then we were going to give them an action. I think you had a gift or a way
Yep.
of connecting with you, and then we're going to end the show. So you want to share that action step or share something with the audience real quick about growing?
Yeah. There's two types of people that I've found. One type of person is they do just enough to get by. Marie, I'll just do enough to get by. Be fine, whatever I do. The other person wants to master everything. They want to be in control and master all those steps. So, which I challenge the audience in this question: which person are you? Doing just enough to get by, or mastering each step, step by step, and going through that struggle, those obstacles? And the people that just do enough to get by have less obstacles, maybe, because the people that want to master each thing, like you're doing, Marie, and going out, more obstacles are coming at them because their dreams are bigger, their
Yep.
goals are bigger, they're doing more new things. So I would encourage the audience and everybody listening to this is follow your destiny and try bigger, impossible goals. You're going to grow, and your impossible goals 5 years from now, you'll look back and say they were impossible, but they're possible now because I listened to Marty and Marie and I went out and I wasn't afraid of the obstacle. That obstacle is not holding me back. Money, race, health, whatever it is, Marie, you go out and you make it happen. Don't be a wandering generality. Be a meaningful specific. And you contact me, I'll give you a half-hour session, including jokes, and
And
it'll
they're
change your
funny
life.
too, as you
It'll
can tell.
change, Maria, it'll change your life. It'll
It
change your
does.
life completely. I'll give you a half-hour session. We'll talk. Come and speak with me. It'd be my honor and my pleasure. And we can go. We'll meet again. I have another topic, unifying opposites, that I wanted to touch on.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to. We'll put that down in the chat as something as a topic for another show. Then we'll do that unifying opposites for maybe like a January show if you want. So
Yeah,
anyway, we'll
I'll
discuss
just
that.
I'll just tell you. Do you know how you put water, oil, and salad dressing together?
Yeah, they can make an extreme mix, don't they?
You see how they separate. The water separates from the oil, and you put the spices in, like good seasons, if you ever make good seasons. But the thing is, Marie, when you shake up the salad dressing, it all comes together and you pour it on your salad and it tastes fabulous.
Yep. They
Unified opposites.
There you go. That's something great for a title for a January show to start that. But anyway, thank you so much. And you make a good point because whatever your obstacles are, they make you stronger as you grow. And then also one of the quotes I remember hearing is the bigger the dream, the bigger the victory. So remember, whatever you're going through now, there's a victory, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But you just have to stick in there and hang in there till the very end. Because if you quit before it happens, when are you going to see the victory? Don't miss it. So hang in there. That's what we're trying to say is encourage you to just hang in there and stick with it because oh my gosh, those obstacles are temporary, but they're there because they're going to give you a lesson. They're teaching you a lessons. And don't forget, those lessons will build your strength and your character, like Martin was saying. So we tied it all together for you. I hope you got a lot of value out of today's show going into the holiday season, starting with the Thanksgiving, which is going to be when this is released. And then, oh my gosh, going into Christmas. Don't forget to watch the show as many times as you need to gain that strength and knowledge from Martin. And oh my gosh, hopefully we
Should I
were,
give my email address?
yeah, definitely. I was going to ask you, how are
Oh,
people going to get in touch with you?
I know, I know. Martin Schwartz 80 at gmail.com. M
And
A R.
Schwartz is spelled Schwartz. Did I get it right?
Yeah, MARTINSCHWARTZ, the number 80 at gmail.com.
Brilliant. It has been such an honor and privilege to have you. And do thank your rabbi for helping you get set up because every little bit of people that help us bring this show together is a blessing. So, because we, like you said, we have lots of people we need to reach, and I hope that people do like, share, and comment below. And if you have any questions for any of our guests, go to our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. It's libertyvirtualsolutions.com for my website, but that also has the Facebook page on there as well. So you can check that out. And it's Liberty Virtual Solutions is where you're going to find all of our podcasts. Also, in our YouTube channel, we're going to be having it in other platforms again real soon. You can still catch many of our old ones on Speaker, Spotify, Amazon, and Audible, and many others. But we have a special gift that we're giving back to our community, especially to our children and our teachers. So, for everybody who buys our wonderful little backpacks, they are actually not really little, but they're great school backpacks. They are the Marketing Mindset Mastery Show podcast ones, and they're $45 right now. For everyone that gets purchased this year, we're giving a $5 gift card to one of the lucky teachers in the U.S., starting in Virginia in our local area of Charlottesville and branching out. And the reason why is it's going to help them with supplies and stuff because they pay for a lot of things out of pocket. And sometimes they only have a small amount of money to put towards supplies. So we're helping a lucky school and a set of teachers. So for every $5, every $45 you spend at our shop, which is libertyvirtualsolutions.com/shop. Please make a purchase for that. It's going to be something we're going to do during the 2021-2022 school year. So you have all year to contribute, and we would love to bless a teacher. If you have a specific teacher in mind, please message me at libertyvirtualsolutions.com and tell me I have a teacher I'd like to, buy the backpack for and gift the gift card to. So we would love to bless a teacher because I used to teach for 20 years. Martin, most people don't know that. And I want to be able to give back to the community because I know how hard teachers are struggling, especially during this trying times. So we want to encourage them to not give up as well. So please join us again for next week's episode for more great tips and tricks and ideas and how to's to make your marketing and mindset work for you. So our guest next week will be providing more tips on how to set your business up for success. We stream live every Thursday at our new time, which is 11 a.m. Eastern, right here. And actually, we're doing it through YouTube. Um, we're actually going to be doing it through Facebook for a while until I can get YouTube hooked up. And otherwise, it's all going to be uploaded to YouTube and broadcasted to all the other channels. So do make sure you like, subscribe, and share and to our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page, which is Liberty Virtual Solutions. And don't miss out on another show. So, you guys be blessed, be safe during the holidays, and spend some quality time with the people you love and care about because it's such a blessing to be around them. And don't take anything for granted. So, until next time, this is Marie Mason. Pliny will had some technical difficulties because she had a thunderstorm that blew out her power not long after we started the show. So you will get to see her on the next show, and hopefully she'll have her power restored by then. So with that, we're saying bye bye from now. This is Martin and Marie from the Marketing Mindset Mastery Show, and that ends this week's show. So y'all be blessed and take care. So, and let me go ahead.